Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking and watching. My name is Ree and I typically make fashion and lifestyle videos, but obviously I say this every time, I needed to review Insecure's final season and I am loving it. I'm loving every single episode. Okay, so let's just dive into episode 6. I actually missed episode 5, but I'm just going to recap it very quickly. Basically, Molly's mom had a stroke and that was really hard for her and the family. It actually turns out that it's the second stroke, which is just really tough, obviously. And then we see that Issa is just being the friend of the year and just being super supportive towards Molly, and that was just beautiful to see her being so supportive. And also it's with her being supportive of Molly, you then see Nathan being supportive of Issa, which I really enjoyed seeing. Yeah, so that was kind of most of the episode. So we also see that Issa and Nathan are trying to figure out their relationship dynamic. They decide to move slowly, but then at the end of the episode we see that Issa tells Nathan that she loves him and Nathan doesn't say it back. Ouch. Am I right? Ouch. I don't know if you guys have been in a situation like that, but just hearing that, I'm like, ooh, ouch. But yeah, so he doesn't say it back, but that doesn't mean he doesn't feel anything for her. I think he's just super confused of what's going on. Like, how the hell are you going to be crying about another man? Crying about another man, and then next minute you want me, then next minute's move slow, then next minute it's like I love you. Like, that's a big word and you can't really throw that around loosely, you know. I don't like that. And then at the end of the episode we see that Issa bumps into Lawrence and Condola at the hospital. I felt that, like, I just felt that nobody wants to bump into their ex. That's the actual worst feeling ever. I actually used to live down the street from my ex and I had to move. No, I moved for other reasons, but I didn't want to be bumping into my ex every day. Like, that's just not it. You don't want to do that. So bumping into your ex is not fun, especially when they're with their new baby. Like, he's with his baby. So she bumps into him. She's walking past and then something happens. Like, this guy with a stretcher is kind of getting in her way. And then she just looks to the right and she sees him. And you just felt that. You just felt your stomach getting tight, your heart dropping a little bit. And she just like stays behind and then he sees her too. And then she just decides to walk. And that's how the episode ends. She's just kind of standing there deciding what to do next, kind of gathering her thoughts, catching her breath. But that's how the episode ended off. Okay, now for episode 6. This episode is called Tired Okay. Okay, so the episode picks up where we left off and you see that Issa decides to go and say hello to Lawrence and Condola. So she goes up to Lawrence and Condola. She's saying, like, let's not make this awkward. Like, let's just pretend like things are cool. They decide to be like, okay, cool. Like, she's like, the baby's cute. Condola then asks, do you want to hold the baby? And she says yes. I want to know what you guys thought about that, because when I saw that, I'm just like, I really believe in people's intentions and people's intentions, and I don't think I would have anybody touch my baby, hold my baby if they don't have good, if they have kind of like some bad history, like it's not like a smooth history. So I just really believe in intentions and making sure that your circle is very tight and don't allow anybody into your space and anything. So I would never have anybody who's not for me really touch my kid at all. But anyways, so it turns out that it's just a daydream. She just kind of goes crazy and she just like throws the kid. No, I think she drop kicks the baby. And then, yeah, so, but everybody's been there where you're just like thinking, you're like, I just want to mess shit up. But luckily that was just a daydream. So she never obviously goes up and says anything to them. She just sees them and just like keeps it moving, which I think I would do as well. So then when Issa gets back home, she decides to do the Insta stalk of Lawrence and see what he's up to. She sees that he's moved back to LA. So she's just thinking, look, what's going on? Like, he's moved back. She has no idea what's going on. They obviously haven't spoken, but he's back in the city. He's back, and her mind is obviously not off of him. I just believe that Nathan is a placeholder, which is really sad. I like Nathan, but Nathan and Issa together, like it's Nathan and Lawrence, right? It's not Nathan and no, it's not Nathan and Lawrence. It's Issa and Lawrence. It's not Issa and Nathan. Even though it's cool for right now, but in her heart, I know she's not fully into it. She's just trying her best to move on from Lawrence, and I think that's why she told him prematurely that she loves him. Like, you may have loved how he treated you that day and love how he, like, held you down and made you feel good and supported, but you don't love that man, Issa. You do not love that man. So then you also see Issa trying to get Nathan to say, I love you, because obviously he did not say it in the last episode. He just kind of like smiled at her. It's basically like saying, thank you. I would love to know if any of you guys have done that. Like, just like if someone said, I love you, and you just said thank you, or you just didn't say anything back, or if you said that to them and they said nothing back. Like, I would just love to know your stories, because if you do it, if you don't say I love you back, like, that's real. Maybe you don't feel it, or maybe you're being a little bit savage, but that hurt the person. And then if that happened to you, I'm sorry about that. But anyways, okay, so he doesn't say I love you. She's trying, they're in bed. She's like, oh, is there anything you want to say? And he's just like, oh, I love what you're doing. But he doesn't say I love you. Okay, then it cuts to Nathan at the barbershop. This reminded me of The Barbershop, the movie. I love that he's a co-owner of the barbershop. It's just like, it just feels good. It feels right. And obviously there's one guy who's just not pulling his weight. He's late all the time. How are you going to have a client waiting for 45 minutes and you're not even in contact with them saying I'm on my way or anything? They're waiting for 45 minutes. That's wild. So Nathan decides to take his client and give him a haircut. The guy also wants, it's not like he pushed it. The client said, could somebody cut my hair? Like, I need my hair cut. I would expect if I was going to a salon and my girl wasn't there, I'm going to be like, somebody better figure this out, because like, I'm not leaving without my hair being done. So I don't think the guy was crazy for asking for someone to cut his hair, and I don't think Nathan was crazy for doing it, but also there's like, I'm sure, unwritten rules and rules for those kind of situations. But like, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about that. Okay, so then we see that Crenshaw is back messing things up for Issa. So Issa had like a meeting with this small company, I guess, and she's just talking to them about possibly taking them on as clients. They then like put dots together, connect the dots, and find out that she is connected with Crenshaw, and they shut her down immediately. They said, like, basically, we're not interested. We don't think this is going to be a right fit. So Issa's thinking, like, what the hell? You're actually messing up my business that I worked so hard for, because we saw that happen. We saw her work so hard to get to this place, and this guy feels a certain way. So you're just going to, like, tear this woman down? Like, I don't like that. Kofi, you know how I feel about you, but I don't like that. Okay, so we see that Molly's on a retreat for work. She's definitely distracted because everything's going on in her personal life, but she's there, and they decide to, her and like some of her coworkers are just like having a little bit of fun, having some drinks, and it seems like Molly let loose just a little bit too much. Just a little bit too much. She wakes up the next morning. Girl has another man's watch in her bed, and it looks like Skittles are everywhere. I thought they were pills or something, but I think they're Skittles. And so she's like a mess. She has no idea who was in her bed. She's thinking she slept with somebody, which if I woke up like that, I would think so too, and I would think they drugged me. But anyways, so then she finds out that it was what's his name? Tauren. She finds out there's Tauren. Her coworkers show her videos of her just doing the absolute most, just doing too much, just going too wild. And she's obviously embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed. Like, you did too much. And it's like your coworkers, you're not with your girls. And even though it could feel like, oh, we're getting friendly, always remember those are your coworkers, they're not your friends. And Molly knows that, but I think with everything going on in her personal life, she's just really stressed out. And I think just like not knowingly, like subconsciously, she just let loose, and she just kind of like didn't know what to do with all the built up emotions she was feeling. So and instead of going to bed, the girl acted a mess. But whatever, everyone has their moments. Okay, so I love Issa's entrances. Issa's just so funny, and I love those little like moments of like funny like awkwardness. I always end up rewinding and watching like a scene a couple times, or just like a part of a scene a couple times, because I'm like, oh, that was just funny. But so Issa decides to pay Crenshaw a visit, and she brings these little brownie things. And like every time she walks into a room and she says something, the people don't even acknowledge her. And it's just so funny. And she's just like, she just doesn't know what to do with herself, and then she just like moves on. So I just love those scenes so much. But anyways, so she meets up with Crenshaw and she finds him, and he basically questions her integrity. The man made a shirt that said integrity on it. And so I would love to know your guys' opinion on this. I just think he's doing too much. He's doing too much, and like, you're actually putting down another black business. Like, you think you're doing something, but like, if you really want to hurt her, just don't work with her again. You don't have to try to ruin her business. And I did not like that at all. And then to question her integrity, she's just trying to help you be seen, be seen. And she's also trying to help herself as well. But like, what is she supposed to say? They had notes for you. Like, maybe you guys can go back and forth and say, actually, I'm going to take these notes. Maybe I'm not going to do this. It's all about negotiation. And so to just try to tear her down, and now it's messing up her business. And I just think he's doing too much. But he's young and everything, but she's also learning about the business, right? Like, it's not like she's some seasoned person and she's been doing it for 15 years. She's learning. So I think just give her a break, man. Just don't work for her, but you don't have to ruin her business. So yeah, that did not go well at all. Okay, so then it cuts to the scene where Nathan is at the barbershop, and the guy who he took the appointment from, Shug, things are messy. The guy is upset, obviously, that he took well, I don't even know if obviously is the word, but he's upset at Nathan. And he's saying that Nathan's going to pay his rent for the month. He just seems like a bully too. Like, the guy's just like a bully, instead of just having a conversation. Also, maybe Nathan could have sent him a text and said something, but the guy's upset. So then he starts like talking down to Nathan and saying that he's crazy, he's bipolar, and he's soft. So that conversation didn't go well. Also, I hate when you're angry with someone and you go for the jugular. Like, I just think there's so many other points you can say about the person. You can like say what you did was messy, like you don't handle a situation like that. But then to go and call the man bipolar, and to kind of, obviously maybe it's something he shared with you in confidence and in trust, then you're just going to throw that in his face. That's why you don't tell everybody everything that's happening in your life, because some people are waiting for an opportunity to just like hit you with it. I've learned to be very guarded. No, I'm not guarded, but I've learned who to trust and who not to trust. But yeah, so I felt bad for Nathan in that. Like, he stood up for himself, but then when he started talking about him being bipolar and soft, he just like was just like, I'm done. And the guy was just having fun, like just talking down to him. I hate when people, I just don't like things like that. Okay, so then we see Molly opening up to Tauren. I think his name's Tauren. We see Molly opening up to Tauren about her mother and about her personal issues. And he's just saying, like, I'm there for you if you need anything work-wise. Like, I'm there for you. And when I saw that, I'm just like, I definitely think something's going to happen between them. Because, you know, when you see in shows and stuff, they're enemies at first and then they become, like, love interests. So I'm thinking something like that could take place. But Tauren's a cute guy. Molly's a cute girl. So let's see what's going to happen there. Okay, and then you see another daydream with Issa, and Issa sees Condola, and Condola's basically engaged, and she's talking about the man makes, Lawrence, makes $1 billion a month, and it just seems like everything is just perfect for them, and they're back together. So she doesn't know anything about the reality because we've seen the reality and things are not going peachy for them. But when you're on the outside, you have no idea what's going on. That's my little pup. You have no idea what's going on. So to her, it just seems like, oh my gosh, they have the perfect relationship. I guess they stayed together, or they got back together. And, you know, they're together and the man's rich and they're having good sex. Oh, hello, Bob. Oh, it's my little boy. Okay, so when I was thinking, and I'm sure a lot of you guys were thinking that something was going to happen with Molly and Tauren, I hope that's his name, Tauren, whatever, it doesn't matter. So he comes by her room and he's like, oh, I got a little gift bag for you. Gift bag? You coming by my room at whatever time to knock on my door and say you have a gift bag for me? I think that was a little bit inappropriate. Wait for a better time when we're all in the open to be knocking on doors when it's not even work related, okay? And then she greets him with a huge hug because she got good news from her mom that she's woke up from her coma. So that's incredible. So she hugs him, he hugs her back. They also have like a bit of eye contact. They share a little moment, but we don't know what's going to happen. But he also gets a little bit awkward. He's like, well, she gets awkward and then he gets awkward. So we're going to see what happens between them. Maybe nothing. I feel like there's a lot of like short little like moments with men for Molly in this season, but who knows what's really happening, but she's enjoying her time. Okay, so then the last scene, it's Issa. Issa comes home with food for her and Nathan had a rough day. Issa had a rough day. So, yeah, they're just kind of talking. Then Nathan shares that he had a rough time at work and he's like, maybe LA is just not a right fit for me. How the hell are you going to say that when you're in a whole relationship with somebody? Like, how do you think that person's going to react? You're going to say, LA and me don't fit? What is she supposed to say? I know I would not take that comment very lightly. So then Issa brings up the love issue and she says, I told you I loved you and you said nothing back. And like, so she just brings that up because that's obviously been weighing on her. He basically says, like, you know how I feel about you, but you're all over the place. He's like, he said the same comment. 1 minute you're crying in my mouth. The next minute you say you want me. The next minute you say, let's move slow. And now you're telling me you love me. Like, that's going to throw anybody off, anybody for a loop. It's like you yourself can be going through your emotions very quickly, but give me time to catch up because I'm still trying to figure out if I can trust you or not. And like, trust your feelings and trust what you have to say. So they're very early on in their relationship, and to throw love around is obviously he made sure he let her know how he felt because he said nothing back, and sometimes saying nothing is more than enough. So basically after that, it seems like they just table the conversation. He says, I don't want to talk about this. He said something like that. And yeah, then they just go and sit down and have something to eat. Also, Issa's outfit is pretty cute in that scene right there with her little white shoes, her little pointed toe, low heel. I like that. I like it. But yeah, let me know what you think is going to happen with Issa and Nathan. I personally think they're going to crack and break and crumble. I just don't think it was meant to be. I think that they have feelings for each other, but I don't think it's something that's going to last. But we'll see what happens. There's, oh my gosh, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 4 episodes left. I don't know why I needed my fingers for that, but there's 4 episodes left. I am loving every episode, so I'm so excited to continue to watch. I think I'm even going to watch it again after, just to like, you know, just to watch it again, because when I'm watching it now I have to take notes and stop it. So I think I'm just gonna like sit and watch it maybe like a few months from now, which you guys don't care about. But anyways, thank you so much for clicking and watching again. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Please don't forget that. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I'm trying to be a star. Okay, guys, as always, enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye.